constantly looking in the future, creating that anxiety, creating this place of they're not even moving forward. So they keep their family in the same place, they keep their businesses in the same place, they keep their bodies in the same place, and they keep their mind in the same place. All right. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Araujo. Go ahead and check in if you're on with me. Good morning to you all. I see a couple people. I have the camera right in front of me and the comments right behind that, so I can't see everyone there. So we'll try to get that fixed up. Go ahead and move it over to the right. I want to be able to see who's on here today. Today is Monday, and we're getting pretty close to the end of the third quarter, which means we're about to enter into the final 3 months of the year. And oh my gosh, like what has happened all year round, all year long, right? Like think about all the things you've done in the last 9 months, 10 months to be able to be in a position of power, or in a position of like, oh my gosh, like something bad is about to go down, right? And with what's going on in the news and what's going on around us and the economy, I was just reading the newspaper and not the newspaper, but the news online. And I hear about all these layoffs at Wall Street, right? And it gets a part of you that gets a little anxious, because we know how that goes. If there's layoffs over here, that means there's going to be a less demand for our industry, the real estate industry. And, we're always in this scenario of what if this happens? What if that happens? And it's real. That feeling is real. It creates anxiety. It creates inaction. It really is just about predicting the future, right? We're trying to just sit here from where we're at, and we're trying to predict the future of what might happen. And there is so much up for grabs. I mean, your anxiety starts grabbing a hold of your decision. You lose focus on what you have to do today because, well, a part of you wants to shelter, a part of you wants to shut down because of the what ifs. And we have to think about this, that there's always a what if and a what is, and they're constantly at a battle. And if we really think about what if means, it's just trying to predict, or not trying to take the action we know we should be taking as a means to like stay where we're at, to stay in our comfort zone. There's some great things to what ifs as well. I mean, if I didn't think about what is possible, or what if it was possible for me to get into this building, then I would have just stayed where I was at. What if I could afford a bigger house? Then I would have stayed where I was at. What if I can, hire more agents? What if I could build better systems? I mean, there's a lot of positivity with what ifs. That's what a visionary does. He challenges himself to look at something greater, but it's the what ifs, if it doesn't work out, that really stops many entrepreneurs in their track. And that might have stopped you from making moves. The reality is, the what is was that the real estate market was good for a very long time. But yet many of us got caught up in the what ifs. And you remained in a place where you didn't make moves, where you didn't buy investment properties, where you didn't get to take advantage of the low interest rates. So we're talking about now, it seems so foreign, right? Interest rates at 2, 2.25, 2.5, even less than 3%. We had that opportunity, but the what ifs kept us back. What if the market crashes? Kept many back. It kept many of your clients back. It may have kept you in the same home you live in now because of what might happen. And a part of this is like, well, now that it's shifting, we try to find, and there's individuals out there that try to find the confirmation, right? That they didn't make moves because they knew exactly what was going to happen. Look at the market slow down. Now they look like genius, but the fact is, they didn't do anything about it, and they will fail to do anything about it now because of the what ifs. Constantly looking in the future, creating that anxiety, creating this place of they're not even moving forward. So they keep their family in the same place, they keep their businesses in the same place, they keep their bodies in the same place, and they keep their mind in the same place because of these what ifs. And now, right? As opposed to looking like I was afraid to even make any move, they're looking at it like, well, I was a genius. I knew that the market was going to slow down. I knew that this, that, or the other. And it's like, you didn't do shit anyway. You didn't build anything anyway. And we got to be hard on ourselves like that, because these what ifs will always keep us at a place where we're not necessarily happy. It's the what is. If you focus on the action, then that's the difference between a what if means inaction. It means trying to predict the future. What is very different. What is means I'm taking action. I'm looking at my experiences. I'm looking at the journey that I've embarked on. I see the skill sets that I've built. I see the mindset that I've built. And we got to quit relying on the what ifs. And if you're in a place right now where you haven't built something great after years in the industry, you might be stuck in the what ifs. What if it does fail? But will it really fail? Will it really fail? That was a tongue twister for me. Think about it. With all the experiences you've been through, with all the knowledge you have and the wisdom, will it really fail? And I see how overwhelming the what if can be. What if no one signs up for my big money brokerage event? You got to think about this. Like, this is something that I was just sitting back with so much gratitude, right? Because the what ifs almost held me back. The what ifs would have like held me to a point where I would have just stayed there. But because I decided to go with the what is, realizing that I've put in the reps every single day, that I realize I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. That every day I'm depositing into the what is. And the fact is, I am very experienced. The fact is, I'm very strong. I'm very committed. I have a conviction within me that will not dwindle out. I have to look at the what is. But guess what? The what if almost got me. Especially when the what if was confirmed when no one signed up. My worst fear was actually realized. Put in all these tens of thousands of dollars and no one signed up. And it's like, okay. My anxieties came into a reality. My fears came into a reality. What do? I pivot. I realized that the vision was not wrong. I realized that my delivery was. How about I change a few things here? And just like that, back to back to back to back, we filled up our big money brokerage events. We filled up this brokerage. What if I put out these videos and no one signs up? What if I put out these videos and I can never compete? But what we don't realize is that the action builds capacity. Your action builds capacity. What if you go into this listing appointment and you don't get it? What if you do get the listing, but you can't sell it? So you go in with all these what ifs as opposed to what is. You had the skill set to be in the conversation of the listing appointment. What is the what is? Well, you have the capacity to now market it because you've been doing that for months. You've been getting on camera. You've been getting into the flow of conversation of real estate. The what ifs and the what is something we have to be aware of. The what ifs sometimes will hinder our progression. But because I have the what is, which is something that I look upon every single day of just realizing I have a responsibility. The what is what I'm doing right now. And the what ifs will become a reality of the vision, rather the reality of the demise when you continue to do what is required. That's what it comes down to. The what is required. And there's this quote here on week 7. And I think it ties in beautifully to what we're talking about today. All of it was earned. You showed up regardless of the outcomes. Regardless of the outcomes. Regardless of the what ifs. And no one could ever take that away from you. Our job is to understand where we're at mentally. Where we're at when it comes to skill set wise. And if you're doing what is, You're developing that every single day. And I get it. Sometimes we just forget how far we've come. I get it. And that's why we hesitate when we know we should. And some of you hesitated from taking on good opportunities, great opportunities at low interest rates because of the stories you heard or the experiences you went through. And what an amazing journey is if you're able to go ahead and make those moves regardless of the what ifs. I have the what ifs every single day. As soon as we got into this building, what if the market crashes? What if I can't afford it? But then there's a flip side. What if the market doesn't crash? What if I build my business to be recession proof? And when you work on yourself every single day, when you work on your business, when it comes to marketing, sales systems, and leadership, you're essentially becoming recession proof. And you're mitigating any further downturn on what can happen to you. Just because it may happen to others doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. And the problem is, the reason it does happen to so many, right? Because right now, I don't know if you caught this, but when I had Ruben here 2 weeks ago, he says, I'm excited about the market. I love the market, which is a flip side of what many others are saying. Because he understands what is. And the fact is that he is going to continue to show up day in and day out. He is going to continue to market. He is going to continue to follow up. While everybody else, the vast majority of agents within our industry, are stuck in the what ifs. So as opposed to taking the steps and the measures to better themselves, the steps and the measures to invest in their business, they're just getting stuck there, listening to the news, thinking that the Wall Street layoff is now affecting them. What if it starts happening here? What if no one buys? What if the interest rates goes to 7%? What if this? What if that? And like we mentioned before, there's millions of people here in Maricopa County, millions. Someone needs to buy. Someone needs to sell. And as many are getting stuck in the what ifs, there's that fraction of the industry that is doing what is. What is? What is it that I have to do today? What is the minimum requirement? So these are things that I want you to think about today, because I'll tell you what, as I had people here this week, and it was a taxing day. I mean, I went from, 7 o'clock in the morning, the first day, 7 to 5, just being on and, in front of them all day long, just giving them the ins and outs of what it is to run a powerful brokerage. And I feel like we're the best ones out there. Just the people that are within this brokerage, the individuals that keep pushing the envelope. I'm walking around and seeing people just magnify their lives, and it inspires me. And there's an energy in here that has become very common to us. We think it's normal, but at the moment someone outside of our business walks in, they're like, wow. And to us, it's normal. We're just used to operating at that level, right? When you come in, you're like, oh, okay, this is just another day. But at the moment someone gets plucked out of their environment, put in here, they're just like blown away. They're like their eyelids are blowing backwards, And I love that. And I love the fact that I can go down down the line of all our top producers and pick anyone, and they can deliver a powerful message. And I love that. Last week we had Rio teaching a course here on framing. And it's just amazing, right? About how our top producers come in here and just start sharing what they know, trying to give you the upper hand, trying to give you what you need to succeed. And yes, some will get stuck in the what if it doesn't work for me, while others are like, what is? What is it that I need to build? But I had individuals here flying in, my big money brokerage clients from Illinois, New Mexico, Ohio, California, Texas. We've had people here from Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, Nevada, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Virginia. And if I would have stopped at the what if, what a shame that would have been. Because not only is there this group of individuals that got affected by what we have here, something special here at A's and Associates and do the work, but it's potentially thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that are going to get impacted. Because now they're moving on from the what if. They took the risk to realize what is. And some of these individuals have been stuck in the same place, wallowing in the same misery of knowing they had the responsibility to build something bigger, but they just didn't know how, like I did for many years. Because of the what ifs. What if it doesn't work out? What if I can never compete? What if I can't pay my bills? What if I lose? So let's take that into consideration today as we start realizing that it all comes down to the what is, and the what is just the action. What are you willing to do today? Because yes, it's going to get tougher before it gets easier, but that's always the case. And even when the demand was through the roof, it was still tough. But it's coming into this, what if it is possible for you? As opposed to thinking, what if it doesn't work out for you? And that's what we got to look at. I remember when we bought one of our, our houses. This was many years ago, and we were pretty content where we were at, but it was small. It was smaller. We needed more space. My girls were growing up. We needed more bathrooms, and this is coming from someone that used to live in a 4-bedroom because, it was, my parents like added on to it, so it was like a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home. And I look back and I'm like, how did we ever make it, right? It was like only 800 square feet. They added this additional space. I don't know if they even got permits or not, but, it was me, my 2 siblings, my brother, my sister, and my parents, and this 1 bathroom. And, and we can get stuck to a point that, yeah, things are better now, but what is possible for me, And it's not limiting myself to, comparing to how things used to be. But, we were in this house and our girls were growing up, so we needed more space. And we were at this place where we wanted to get out of debt, right? Because we were scared. What if the market continues to go south? What if we can't make payments? What if we can't afford it? So those are the type of thoughts that I had about, pulling the trigger on something bigger, something that my family needed, something that I knew I needed to get me up every morning. Understand that these challenges that I put in front of me, the big money brokerage, the building, my homes, my investments, pushing the brokerage the way I do, it's because it gets me up in the morning. It gets me going. I don't have time to just sit there and just think about it. I have to do the what is. And I know that to be a brokerage owner and to now, who knows where this is going, because the more I do these big money brokerages, like my vision is getting bigger and bigger, like what is possible? Like I know that the foundation of what we built here can be used throughout the entire country. So what is possible? I just don't know. I don't know how to be able to say, okay, these are the next steps. But I'm seeing something way bigger that it's overwhelming me. But if I would have stopped at the what if, I would have just stayed there. Limited. And when you're limited, you weaken yourself. And it ultimately starts crumbling apart. So now I'm like taking steps to this, and I'm like, well, if brokers in Michigan and and New York and New Jersey and Florida and all these people need it, I wonder how many others need it. The foundation of what we stand for. And it's bigger. I'm starting to think bigger. I just don't know how to get there yet. But if I start thinking, well, what if it's too hard? What if it'll never happen? Then I'll just sit here. But the fact is, I know what I'm doing. The what is, I'm taking action today. And the what if almost kept me back from making the next move. But I remember the what if becomes a real possibility when you just flip the script. And I remember we walked into the house and we were like, well, no, we just put money into our old house. Let's just stay here. What if the market slows down? You know, what if this, what if that? And then we walked into the house, our old house, and I remember Carla looking at me and saying, what if we can? Is it possible? Do you think we can? I said, I don't know. But we'll try. And with every decision, of course, there's going to be a set of obstacles that you have to overcome. But the what ifs of holding back, I mean, the consequence could be dire for you. It can really counteract your courage and your certainty if you don't make those moves. Because the what is prepared you to even consider that. You got to understand that the what is prepared you to even see it. You wouldn't have those visions of being successful, of possibly getting into that bigger house or taking that chance if you weren't prepared for it. But again, the what ifs is meant to just keep you there. So every time I stepped into these new visions, when I said, okay, can we get a 10,000 square foot building? The what is, the things that I did every day prepared me to even have that vision. My job is just continue to move on it. Even though the what ifs, it was a mountain of what ifs. What if I don't have the down payment? What if I can't come up with that money? What if this? What if that? It's the what is. The what is prepares you. So focus on the what is. I got some comments here that I want to read off, but I hope that you get the basis of this conversation. Focus on the action, focus on the journey. You have focus on the courage and the reps that you put into it thus far. I don't know what's going to happen here with the economy. I don't know what's going to happen with my different businesses, but what I do know is that I just show up every day. What I do know is I just do the simple things every day. And somehow it's always worked out. It's when I shut down. It's when I let those thoughts just overwhelm me to inaction that things really start getting bad. When I'm too afraid, when I don't make moves, when I don't do what's required, that's when things go bad. Not when the government decides it's going to go bad for me, not when the economy decides it's going to go bad for me. It's when I decide through my actions. And like I said, in any market, there's always a market. So you can sit back, like the vast majority of agents right now, and ponder the what if. Or you can go like the top 1% to 2% that says, okay, what is? What is it that I have to do today? What is it that I have to do today? Juan, at Rio's class the other day, I noticed your students coming and just being in awe to what they saw going on. It was a badass reminder as to what you have to build and guided us to build as well. Forever grateful to you, AZ. Thank you so much. And I got to tell you, you probably didn't see it, but these are brokerage owners from all across the country, and they were just beside themselves. I mean, the energy itself, and you guys all contributed to that. And I want to thank, people that participate. I had Rio come on. I've had Sergio. I've had Rudy, Ruben. I've had several individuals just come in and just start sharing. And thank you for noticing that. And Juan's been here for a few months, and he's still feeling that. And what's become normal to a lot of us that have been here for years is abnormal to the marketplace. I mean, to bring together a group of individuals that want the same things. We all know what we should be doing on a daily basis. It's truly unique. And I appreciate you all. And I had a moment where I just sat there in so much appreciation for the people that are in my life, for what we've created together, what I've seen you create. I mean, that fires me up, that inspires me. And it all comes down to the what is. What is it that you're going to do right now, right? And that's all we've ever done. And that's all we've ever preached, is to do what's required for yourself, for your family, for your business. You do that, the what ifs of the market, the what ifs of the economy, they don't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, you'll know what you will do. And the action is the what is aspect of it. There will always be two what ifs. It's your choice to choose. The negative what if or the positive what if. That's right. The negative what if will keep you in the same position you are at now. The positive what if has endless positive possibilities. And again, when you say endless, and I'm just thinking, I couldn't sleep that Friday night. I was here from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way till 10 p.m. And I wanted to make sure I delivered on an experience they would never forget. And they confirmed that as we were having our dinner, and they were asked to summarize their experience the 2 days that they were here with me, with you all, with this environment. And they literally had me in tears of the impact that we had on them. And it's just amazing, right? The endless possibilities. And that's why I say, I don't know what's next. Like, is it just big money brokerage, or is this something national? I don't know. My job is just to continue to do the right things day in and day out for myself, for my family, for my business. And that's your responsibility as well, for yourself, for your family, and for your business. Do that. And the what ifs of the endless possibilities will grow bigger. And the what ifs of the negative, like George just explained, will go by the wayside. And that's the game right there. There's always opportunity. The result is going to be determined by us, the work we put in and the mindset we have. Focus on what is and use the what if to fuel to drive you to the life you dream of. And all of us have the what if, right? What if it doesn't work out? What if I can't pay my bills? What if this deal falls through? Somehow you're here. And somehow you continue to lean to the other aspect of the what if. What if it doesn't fall through? What if I can make a great living? What if I can get into the best shape of my life? What if I can have a marriage on fire? What if I can have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the banks, if not millions, right? What if? What if? Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. You know what it is, so go do that. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.